a production of the New Jersey Courts.
This is the corridor opposite the corridor where the Chief Justice's chambers were located. This first door on the left was the entrance to the Administrative Director's office, and the suite down this corridor to the left was were the offices of the Administrative Office. I believe there were 96 employees of the Administrative Office of the Courts when I started here in May of 1974. On the right was the entrance, no longer here, to the Supreme Court Clerk's office. The vault was here. It contained all of the important documents that had to be secured. But my understanding was that the justices used to comment on draft opinions of others by hand, and sometimes through typed messages that the secretaries would type. But case files were kept in this vault. So all of the drafts of the opinions that were circulated, all of the justices' written comments were placed in the case files, and the case files were stored in the vault together with other important things like administrative directives, the original administrative directives, and the original orders of assignment, the general assignment order executed by the Chief Justice. And there was a longtime secretary to the administrative director named Eleanor Rogers. Was she still here when you started, Donna? And it was her job to clean that vault when the Judiciary moved from the Statehouse Annex to the Justice Complex in April of 1982, and there were real treasures in here. People I know were scrambling to read letters that were exchanged among the justices in connection with Winbury versus Salisbury, for example. This is the hallway. At the far end is one of the Appellate Division courtrooms, and where you see doors open halfway down the hall was the entrance to the other Appellate Division courtroom with Judge Goldman's chambers in the middle. When Chief Justice Hughes became Chief Justice in December of 1973, this became the Chief Justice's office with his clerks and his staff doing both judicial opinion and administrative work. And the entrance to his chambers were here. So what was the Appellate Division chambers and courtroom all became part of the Chief Justice's chambers for the Chief and his secretaries and clerks, retaining the Appellate Division library where the clerks worked. This legislative hearing room was one of the Appellate Division courtrooms, and another legislative hearing room, now a legislative hearing room, was the other Appellate Division courtroom. So if you were filing in the Appellate Division, you would come off the elevators here on the third floor and turn right and right again and go down the corridor we're about to enter, and the office of the clerk was to the right. I believe under the office of the Supreme Court clerk. around the corner here. The entrance to the clerk's office was here, not in the corridor across from the administrative director's office. The administrative office went down on one side of the corridor and the clerk's office on the other. As the AOC developed, you had Bellevue Avenue, you had Hanover Place, was it? Hanover Street, where Central Ethics and Personnel was. And you had Front Street, where Central Appellate Research was for a while. And Judge Mort Greenberg, who was then an appellate judge sitting in New Jersey, the Appellate Division, before he went to the Third Circuit, they were in I guess a house on Front Street. A little office building. Yeah. But everything was consolidated, of course, when the complex was opened.
The room that you see down at the end of the hall is a former courtroom that was the initial location of the Appellate Division's Central Appellate Research staff. And I was one of 4 initial staff attorneys on that staff. Our director was Cynthia Jacob. She was the one that hired the first people that were there. Over the years, the staff, of course, expanded a lot. We now have 27 attorneys. We had, maybe 15 judges when we started. We now have 32. But this is where it started. When we were here, there was a bench across this wall, and then we had our desks all around the other walls in the room. As the staff expanded from 4 to 7 to 8, we still had the same number of desks, so we were required each of us to work at home 1 day a week for a while. The initial staff was 4 attorneys, 3 secretaries, and Cynthia. And I was looking through some of Cynthia's files yesterday, and I found a letter to the AOC saying, we have 4 attorneys, we have 3 secretaries, we still don't have those typewriters. We need 3 typewriters, when are we going to get them? We were not initially part of the Judiciary budget. We were part of an experiment that was being done by a federal agency called SLEPA, the State
Law Enforcement Planning
Agency, right?
Yes.
And we've been around for a long time now, but this is where we started, and we had a very good group of people. We liked working with each other. It was really important work for the court even then, and it still is. So I'm proud to have been part of it for 45 years now.